What's up, guys?
Hi, guys.
Guess what?
We're pregnant. Or actually, we were pregnant.
Guess it's time to tell our story. The pain after the miracle. Okay,
All right.
let's backtrack a little bit.
Let's do that.
All right. So those who know our story,
Yeah.
we dealt with infertility for 11 years.
Yeah.
We did all the treatments, the oral treatments, IUI, 2 rounds of IVF.
That's
We
right.
had 2 miscarriages, 2 lost babies from the IVF.
Yeah.
And guess what? We had a miracle baby.
We did.
Naturally. Our Novi Rain.
Yes.
You've probably seen her all over these internet streets.
She is now 3 years old.
She is 3 years old.
Going on 33.
It's crazy. So as you can imagine, we have been praying for another child.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for that boy.
Yeah, you always get the comments, Novi needs a sibling, or like, Kadero wants to even out the scoreboard. He's surrounded by a lot of women. So our prayer has been for a boy.
For a boy.
Right?
So it's interesting enough.
Yeah.
Novi's 3. We haven't used protection since we could get it on again.
Yeah.
But nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. And the interesting thing is, 40, I'm not there yet, but it is quickly approaching. And our prayer has always been that we conceive naturally before, I turn 40. That's been a goal of ours, right? Of ours. I'll say that. And so we were thinking about it because I was like, well, Novi's now 3, and if we want to do this, how long are we going to wait before we look for additional treatment? Like, would we try the IVF again? Would we try oral, contraceptives or things like that? So that's been an ongoing conversation in our story. But this time, it happened naturally.
It happened naturally again. And so we want to show you exactly how it all went down. Check this out.
Good morning. Okay, so it's pretty early. It's 6:30 on December 18th. And Kadero is working out. Now, I am trying to keep quiet because we have, like we said, a house full of guests right now, so I don't want anybody hearing. But anyways, 6:30, December 18th. And I am, for those that know my journey, my menstruals have been very irregular prior to pregnancy or my last time. And so they've gotten very consistent after pregnancy, which I've been only like a day or 2 late. Right now, I'm like 5 days late. So I don't want to read too much into it, but normally it's like clockwork. So I'm just going to take a test just to ensure and make sure that I just know where I am physically. Like I said, Kadero's working out right now, so he has no idea. So we are about to find out together. And if I am pregnant, I don't know how long I can wait until I tell him. I feel like we're right here at December 18th. Should I wait till Christmas? Should I tell him today? I don't know. But let's find out first before we even get there. Alrighty. I came to work out with my husband, Are you shocked?
Absolutely.
Why do you gotta say absolutely so strong?
Say, been working out for a long time.
So Fidel's doing, what is this? Peloton. I'm probably about to lift some weights. Yeah, so we're gonna get at it. Are you able to talk while you're working out or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So we'll wait. We'll let him have a break. You got a break? Oh, he's back at it. He's focused. I'm ruining his workout right now. Lighting good? Oh, it is pretty good.
That white light, that's all right.
Also to give you an early Christmas gift.
Stop playing. Yo, stop. Yo. I gotta press pause. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm shaking. I'm trying to hold this camera
That's
right
why
now.
you're really out here.
That's why I'm really out here. I'm not lifting anything.
Declaring he's on the way.
Declaring he's on the way.
I'm declaring
Baby
he's on the
KJ,
way.
this has to be you. I am trembling right now. Okay, we're gonna have a moment. Put this away. Bye for now. All right, so as you guys have just witnessed, it was an amazing morning,
So dope.
full of so many emotions, right? And so the main thing was at that point was we wanted to get on the phone with the doctor right away, right? Because at this point, we have our PCP and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let me call the doctor because I want to get some blood work done to confirm this pregnancy. And so we did, and we got blood work done, and she confirmed. She was like, yeah, you're definitely pregnant. And so for me, personally, that wasn't enough. I'm the type of person where, okay, as you guys could see, I was contemplating whether or not I was going to tell Kidero like that day or for Christmas, save it for Christmas. So we were going back and forth through this conversation of when are we going to tell our family? Yeah. Are we going to tell them at Christmas or are we going to wait? The hard part about that is we have family that's living with us at this current moment visiting. So it would be extremely hard to hide it, I feel. And then, the great things they can help with Novi and all of that stuff. Yeah. All that to say, I wanted a double confirmation before we told our family. So we got our blood work done the first time. Numbers were kind of low, but I didn't know how early it was. Yeah. So I was like, well, let's go back. So I scheduled another appointment and I got blood work done and it had tripled. The numbers had tripled, HCG levels. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling confident. We just had our miracle baby. Things should be worked out in my body properly by now and all of that stuff. And I was like, the numbers are progressing the way that they should be. So we made the decision to tell our family.
Even though it was, I was back and forth because with Novi, we didn't tell our family. And I felt like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Let's not tell our family again. But like Hope said, everybody was around. So we decided we was going to tell them because it'd be a really cool Christmas gift.
Right? So here's how that went.
Ready? Lindy. Oh, come on, Mom. Say Merry Christmas. 1, 2, 3.
Merry Christmas!
Okay, I think I did like 2 or 3.
Nobody's tickled. Let me hide my non-pedicure toes.
One more. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
We're expecting! I heard that.
You heard what?
We expected! Is it for real?
expecting?
No way.
Oh,
Yeah, I said Mary.
But you said Mary.
You said Mary.
Right, that's why you had to go get the lab work?
go back to the lab. Go on back to the lab.
But I know what I heard. For real.
Merry Christmas!
With the paw.
All right. So as you can tell, the family was excited,
Confused,
and
slow, all of
and not getting it, but we got them there.
We got him there.
Next was our first doctor's appointment with the
Yeah.
OB, and
Yeah.
we actually didn't have one at the time
We did
when
not
we
have
found
one
out
at
we
the
was
time.
pregnant, and Hope needed to find one.
So I was like this on the Google,
Google.
searching, looking for recommendations, all that stuff. And my prayer is always that I find the right doctor that aligns with our beliefs, that, you know, treats people fairly, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I felt led to go with this one doctor, and we, by the time we called, she was like, okay, you know, you are very early. We normally don't see patients until about, you know, 8, 9 weeks or whatever. And so they were like, you got to wait a little bit. So when I tell you, the wait was the longest wait ever. Because remind you, when we did IVF and all of that stuff and conceived naturally, they were so concerned about this baby because of everything that we had gone through, that we were getting blood work done like every 2 days. We were getting ultrasounds like every week. Like, it was so much, in which kind of wore me out then. But now looking back, I'm like, I wish I had that this go round, because it was just comforting to know that things were progressing and I got like all the details that I needed. But here we are now, forced to wait. And it just felt, my mind was trying to stay focused on Jesus the entire time, but it did not. It wandered. It went every which way. I was just thinking of so many things. And then it was the holidays. Like, it was busy. Like, it was a lot going on. A lot going on.
But we finally made it to the doctor's.
To the doctor's appointment.
Yep. And yeah, we check out this ultrasound video that we snuck.
He did. They didn't have the sign in that room. We didn't know.
They didn't have the sign in that room.
Okay, we
That's
didn't
true.
know.
That's true.
Check it out. Okay, so we are back. We're finding parking here. So, Daddy, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm you know, a little anxious, ready to find out, ready to see everything. Yeah. But
we're holding on to God's promise.
that's right.
Hey, that's all we can do right now.
Little one's been prophesied.
Yes.
Many times.
We're in the office. There's Mama. I don't know what I got. She'll be all right. I'll let you cover up and then I'll try again. We're in the ultrasound room. We are getting ready to see our baby. Yes. This one's getting super nervous now. Something though. Huh? Why are you getting nervous, baby?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to go off of the excitement of the last one.
I hear you.
In reality, I don't know.
I'm gonna come closer to you so that we can enjoy this together.
Pretty sure on that last due date, or that last menstrual period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're all finished, okay?
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
All right. And we'll send her all of these images. She'll go over everything with you, okay?
All right, guys.
Hey.
We are here. We are back. Just got out of the doctor's office not too long ago. How would you like to explain how our visit went, my dear?
I wanted you to explain it.
Oh, okay. As the pregnant.
Yeah, the pregnant.
Don't know if that's a word. Okay, so this is where we're at. Where we're at is, as the doctor said, we're in a gray area. So the gray area meaning that they see a baby. they do not see a heartbeat right now. So what they're saying is a couple of things could be happening. That I am not as far. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The baby also measured on the ultrasound 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So the thing is, I could not be as far as long as I thought, and so that's why the baby's measuring 6 weeks, and they're not able to hear a heartbeat yet or see a heartbeat yet at 6 weeks. Or the pregnancy, which I calculated I should be like around 8 weeks. They say it could have started and then just stopped. So our doctor came to us and said that we are in a gray area because she's not going to rule it out right now. Because the thing is, if I ovulated late, then I would be measuring right on time. So update is we are going to have another ultrasound in about a week. So the prayer this week is that we continue to grow, and that by the 7th week, which will be next week, we will be able to see a heartbeat. So that is where our faith is. That is what we are believing for. And so our next check-in, we will prayerfully be showing you guys a picture of our healthy baby.
Okay, so ultrasound tech, as you saw, had the ultrasound.
Yeah.
Not much there. She said nothing. Absolutely nothing. Hope literally was like,
when she left.
Yeah.
When she left, I said, this doesn't seem good. This doesn't seem right. I felt a certain way. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I felt a certain way when we saw the baby on the ultrasound, because it did not, and this is just me, it did not look like our first pregnancy on the ultrasound.
The hard part is you sit there and you compare.
Right. And I was trying my hardest not to do that, but I was like, And normally, I feel like the last time when we were pregnant, the ultrasound tech was like, oh, there they are. Or, oh, there's their, whatever. Yeah. And it was none of that. It was just, and we're sure about the first day of your last menstrual, because that right there means that the baby was not measuring where they thought that it should.
So we talked to the doctor, and the doctor came in and basically said that at that time we should have been at like,
should have been about 8 weeks.
8 weeks, but the baby was measuring like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So she said this. She said, we're not going to rule anything out just yet.
Mm-hmm.
She said, either you ovulated late and you're not as far as you think you are, or we are starting the process of a miscarriage.
Yeah.
But since we are in this gray area, we want to wait another week.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those moments like, oh no, not again. However, when she did say that, when she said the gray area, no lie, my spirit was like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance for me to exercise my faith that God, whatever your will be, there's a chance we're going to have this baby, and that maybe we are earlier than we thought we were. Yeah. And so it was like, okay. Well, I was like that.
I was about to say, I was not.
Not there.
I was. So something about me is I always feel like and this is not, I'm not saying this is a good thing at all, but I guard my heart from the disappointments, because we've been there so many times. And I feel as though I do have the faith, and I know that things are possible. And I'm glad that we found a doctor that was like, we're going to wait a week to see if it, what progresses or things like that, opposed to just ruling it out and giving up. But I do remember when we left the doctor, Kidero, we got on the elevator and he was like, how are you doing? Where are you at mentally? And I think I just broke at that point, and I was like, I'm okay, and I was okay, but it was like a cry like, God, why couldn't this just be a normal ultrasound? Why couldn't this just be great news? Why am I going through this again after we just witnessed the miracle 3 years ago? So it's like, my thought process was like, oh, this is solid, right? And that was just the naive thinking, I guess.
Well, not naive,
not
but
naive.
Just hopeful.
I was very hopeful.
You was hopeful.
And I didn't want any type of bad news. I didn't want to experience that again. Because honestly, it was like PTSD. I was like, Lord, we're here again. Why do we have to be? So those were the feelings I feel like I was going through. I did have the faith. I am believing, but then again, it's like, okay, now we have to wait another week. Now the wait is happening. Mind you, during this entire time, our daughter is turning 3. So there's like, I'm planning birthday parties. She had her friend over. We had a bowling party for her that weekend, all while not knowing if the life on the inside of me was living or not existing, like not living. So it was an interesting week because you want to be there for your daughter. You want to be high and happy and like, on a high and stuff. In which I feel like we did a good job, like being present for her. But in the back of your mind, you're like, am I pregnant? Am I miscarrying or about to miscarry, or like what's happening in my body?
It was such a weird dichotomy of
celebrating
the miracle, and having the hope that we wouldn't be dealing with the past pain that we've been used to. And it was like we're sitting in that moment at the exact same time. So again, here we are waiting another week. And I think for me, it was just like thinking about it, but not thinking about it. And it was like just saying one prayer to say, God, your will be done. If this is the time, this will be the time and it will happen. If not, you are still good. And I think that's where it all boils down to. I told Hope, I was like, we're going to be like Daniel, like when he was thrown into the furnace of fire and he said, our God's going to save us. But if he don't, he's still a good God. And we felt like God's going to save this baby and they're going to grow and be exactly where they need to be. But if not, God, you're still good. And that's where we kind of stood at in that moment. But it was tough that week. We went to the doctor and we got another ultrasound. Check this out.
Hi guys.
What up?
Okay, it's been a week since our last check-in, huh? What's going on? Got distracted by somebody else. I don't know. It's been a week since our last checkup. We've had to wait a whole week for this. As you guys may or may not know, our last visit did not go exactly the way that we wanted it to go. It was the gray area that we talked about. So this is the appointment that will show where we're at. So how's this week been for you, sir?
It's been a good week. I think I've said my prayer. I've had my peace, and I've let it kind of go. Released it type thing. So I think for me, at the end of the day, God's will be done. God's will be done. There's such gratitude in my heart, no matter what.
Either way, he's good.
Either way, he's good. He's faithful. We have seen the promise. And we will see the promise. No matter the outcome of the day. So
we love that. We will keep you guys updated with what happens. I'm good. This week has been filled with distractions, getting ready for Novi's birthday party. So that's been something that has kept my mind busy and occupied along with other things. So I feel like I've done good, done the same thing, just kind of prayed and release it and just pray for God's will to be done. So.
I think that's been interesting. I think the interesting part is while we've been celebrating God's the gift, miracle. The miracle God has did in the past.
Yes, we're going through this.
We're now going through another one where God, we need your miracle again. So that's been so interesting. And that dynamic of celebrating God's miracle while praying for another.
But we'll keep you guys updated, right?
Peace.
All right, so second ultrasound was not what we expected. Well, it's not what we hoped for.
Not what we hoped for.
Once again, ultrasound tech was very quiet.
And we had a different one.
Very quiet. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess I get it. Like, you don't know what to say or you don't want to, like, you can't really say much. So you leave it up to the doctor. But at that point, you can just feel the energy in the room, and you felt that there was this like, oh man. And I do remember, I don't know, I do remember there was a quick moment where she checked for a heartbeat and there was nothing, and it was just dead air. And at that moment, I knew, and I remember when we saw the baby on this ultrasound, I'm thinking to myself, this baby looks smaller than it did last week. And yeah, so baby looked smaller, and she didn't say much. So then we went into the room. The doctor came in, and she called it, and she said, unfortunately, so sorry to share this with you, but the baby did not grow. There's no progression.
Actually,
yeah, the baby has actually gotten smaller, and this is the sign that there is definitely going to be a miscarriage. And I just remember feeling numb in that moment. Like you hear the you hear the words, but it just starts to sound like a muffle, and you're like, I've heard this before. I've heard this so many times, and I'm tired of hearing it. I just remember feeling numb. I didn't know what to say. I know Kadera was there, and he was asking me, like, after she left, how are you feeling? What's going on through your mind? And I didn't really have the words. I didn't know how to articulate the feelings. It was just, I don't know. I was sad. I was disappointed. I was angry. I was frustrated. All the things.
All the things. And for me, it was just trying to be there for my wife. And she kept asking me, how are you doing? How are you doing? And it was just one of those things, like, again, that numbness of it all, and feeling like we've been here before.
Yeah.
But also trying to, like, knowing God was good in that moment, but also being able to feel the pain of it all. Because it was painful to know that our child wasn't going to be here. And then I think, then it was just like the questions of like, okay, we're in the process of miscarriage. So, and that could take up to a month, which was like,
yeah,
that was just amazing to me. And then at that moment, Hope said something that was just like, wow to me. It's like, now I'm just waiting for something that's dead to come out of me. And like, just spiritually, it was just like, this, just seeing that in my head was like waiting on something dead to come out. And just being cleansed in that moment. And those are the moments I was like, man, we have to have our Savior and a God that know that He loves us, know that He's close to the brokenhearted, and He's a comforter, because there are times where the dead has to come out of us before we can start new. And I remember, how many days was it before you actually?
It was probably, I miscarried here recently, January 24th. Our appointment was on the, I don't know,
17th, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was literally probably like a week later.
And for me, it was unique because the other two, I was always at work. And here was the one moment where I could actually be there. And she like texted me, was like, I was like, just in the other room.
Well, no, the first time, I mean, not the first time, but I remember we came to the room first. And because I asked you to come here, and I was literally like clinging on to you and like in pain.
Yes.
And then
I just held you.
You just held me, and you prayed, like you were praying, and I was just like clenching into your arms. The difference this time about having this miscarriage is that we have a 3-year-old at the same time. And so now she busts in the room while I'm miscarrying.
What you doing? What you guys doing?
And I'm like, oh, baby. And so I'm thinking at this point, like, she doesn't understand. She doesn't get it, which is understandable. She's 3. But at that point, after we had some time together, Kadero actually like left because she was wanting me, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and so you took her out, and then so I was in the bathroom for a while, and then I had texted you once we were out there, and I just texted him and I said, I think I just passed our baby, and so we are weird where I'm like, you want to see or no?
I was like, no, I don't want to see, but I'll come sit in it with you.
Yeah, so you
and
sat in there with me.
I sat in there, just sat in the bathroom with her. But just to be there with her in that, even in that moment, because the other 2, I was at work, so I wasn't able to be there with her and hold her and just make sure she was good.
And so, it took a couple of days because it was coming out like at different times. So it was like every piece, every tissue, every. I don't want to. No. Yeah. It just it takes a while. It's a process. So for the next couple of days after that, it was just me in the toilet and you.
All in all, to say that we are.
Yeah. Where do we stand now?
Yeah.
Where do we stand now?
Grieving. We have grieved. We know that God has something great, and we, just like Novi, there's an appointed time for everything, and there will be an appointed time for our child. We believe we're supposed to have another child. And so we are leaning in on that promise. And so right now is not the time, and we look forward to the time. Does it hurt? Yes.
Absolutely.
Was the pain still there? Yes.
Absolutely.
But we also know that we serve a faithful God, and He never has let us down. He never will. And so we're just gonna walk hand in hand in this, and just appreciate everyone's prayers in this moment. There was family was around, and
that was different,
which was unique and different. And there's some folks that knew that we wanted to confide in about it, but not many. But we wanted to share the story because once again, we want people to know that you're not alone. If you're dealt with this, if you're dealing with this, you're not alone. One thing I loved about the doctor that she kept telling Hope is there was nothing you did. There's nothing you could do and nothing you did for this to happen. So for the woman that is dealing with this, have dealt with this, just put it in your mind that it's not your fault. It just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right moment. And to now find the hope again if you're believing for a child, because we sure are.
We are. So
we love you guys.
Yes,
and
do.
That's our story of the pain after a miracle.
So if you haven't seen a lot of challenges lately or content, that is why we've been dealing with some pretty hefty things around here. But all in all, we love you, and we'll be back with the labs very soon. Till next time. Peace.